What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blood, Sweat, and Gear with coaches Skip Hill, Andrew Barry, myself, Scott McNally. All of our programming is brought to you by TrueNutrition.com. Use our code THINK over there for additional savings on high-quality third-party tested supplements, all your basic stuff like creatine, intra-workout, protein powder. We are brought to you by SupplementSource.ca for Canadians. They have great deals that change week to week. And, of course, we're brought to you by Patreon, either this episode or the next episode. We've got some Patreon questions. We're going to tackle those. And we are joined by a special guest today. We've got Andrew Ritter with us. I don't think it's a stretch to say that you could be a freaking phenomenal pro in the future, man. I met you at the Olympia. You just happened to be walking by and you're like, oh, hey, Scott, listen to the podcast. It's like, oh, no kidding. The guy I was talking to knew you. He was another listener of the show. He was like, oh, that's Andrew. I know Andrew. He's a good bodybuilder. So I was like, oh, no kidding. So we talked for a minute. We reconnected on social media. And I was like, hey, man, let's get you on the show. I wanted to introduce you to our audience and, just hear what you're all about. I don't know anything other than you're coached by Chris Tuttle. And you've got a freaky physique. You haven't even competed yet, right?
Yeah, I've never competed.
Okay.
Gosh. Wow.
That's wild, man. That's wild. Let me go to his Instagram, Skip, so that you can see what he looks like. Check this out. So here's some pictures.
Cute that you assumed I didn't do my due diligence.
Oh, no, I knew.
It's because you knew. Yeah, exactly. You knew.
So these are what? These are a week ago, Andrew?
Yeah, about a week ago.
Okay.
You got the goods, man.
Hasn't competed yet, but I do have 7 pair of trunks.
Yeah.
I was giving those by
pictures
some local gym heads.
Okay. You got to get the trunks,
what?
man.
You are going to be the most prepared physique athlete probably to ever step on stage for the first time. Not only do you have the physique, you've obviously got the pedigree, and your posing looks great, and you've got sound coaching from Chris Tuttle. So I feel bad for the rest of the competition. I really do. And I actually feel bad for the guys doing nationals
It's a sweet
later on
front double.
in the year. So, yeah.
Yeah, so what's the game plan going to be? What are you guys considering?
So we just hopped into a growth phase, like literally 2 days ago, and then we were just riding that out. And then he wants me to do North America's or USA's is the plan.
Okay.
As long as everything goes correct.
What's your height and weight?
Right now I'm 5'7", 226. This
I
month.
was going to go with age. Is that okay? I mean,
Yeah, I'm 21.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay.
21.
Pass,
How long have you
pass
been
me a
lifting for?
weapon.
I've been lifting for roughly 4.5
minutes.
years.
Okay. How'd you get into it?
I just my dad used to work out, and then I wanted to be as big as my dad, and so I just started. He was pretty big. He wasn't a bodybuilder. He just he was that one black guy that would just go in there and bench 405 for reps.
I know
We all
that
know
guy.
those.
I
We
know
all
your
know
dad,
those guys.
Wow.
Yeah, me and your
that's
dad
the
were
problem.
tight.
Yeah.
I used to spot him.
Yeah.
Doritos, Mountain Dew, and jacked his. So that's I get
So
it.
Andrew, are you in college right now, or did you graduate? What have you been doing since high school?
No, I finished high school, and then I worked for a moving company for pretty much 18 to a few months ago.
Okay.
And then so I was in prep. We were prepping for a junior USA, a regional show, and then junior USA's, and we were trying to make classic weight cap. And then I had to get surgery because I had a really bad infection, so I had to pull out of that competition. Ooh. And then took a little break, went to a growth phase, and then as of recently, I make enough money from sponsors and then coaching to just live off bodybuilding pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Dang,
So you're literally
21,
living the
man.
dream, because there's not a lot of 21-year-old kids that can jump right to just, hey, my main focus for the day is the 2 hours in the gym. Everything else is just meals, relaxing, therapy, whatever I need to do to perform my best. So that's a unique opportunity, and obviously I can tell you're making the most of it, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. What would you say? So you're trying to get the classic weight, and are you finding that's going to be hard? Because you said 5'7", 226. You're pretty lean right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's we couldn't make classic now.
Okay, that's where I was going. Yeah.
No, back then we were trying. We were if you go to, I have pictures on my Instagram or whatever, but I was 200 pounds and we were trying to make we were hoping I could get to the 187 cap, like up and including 5'8".
Yep.
And then we were digging and digging, and I had a really bad infection, and I got like sepsis, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then I had to pull out, and we were like 4 weeks out, and we were just like, okay, it's done. And then took time off, and then I had a growth phase, and then here I am now.
Okay.
So is
Yeah,
this
because I was
where-
gonna
Could
say.
compete in this show, or I could die of sepsis. It was a good call.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, that's serious. It's an attempt at levity, but the truth is, and that's serious shit.
That's when I was at 19, right there.
Okay. So this is
So
what
you-
were you shooting for classic at this point, I take it?
Yeah, I think I was about like 218, 216 right there, somewhere around there.
Oh, you used to be
Okay.
coached by one of my clients, actually.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
coached by him on prep.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, yeah, but where I was going with the original questioning was, you found out very quickly that you were never going to make classic weight. Like,
Yeah.
like I could have told you that looking at you, and then just seeing to where you are today, be like, yeah, you're going to be a super heavyweight very, very soon. If you don't turn pro, I mean, you'll probably turn pro as a light heavy or heavy, right? But the room for growth and how young you are, like I think you're going to be 245 on stage within the next 3-4 years. Is what I'm saying.
And at
you know?
5'7", that'll be crazy, man.
Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never. Yeah, I never ran like much gear to try to make classic. We had to run like very little compared to most people to try to make classic. And I was losing tissue pretty fast to make classic, and it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
We talked a little bit before the show because I had asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind talking about gear and stuff? And Andrew had said, no, like whatever you guys want to talk about. And you mentioned you just started a growth phase now. Like what does that plan look like for you at this point?
Yeah, so it's just test, EQ, and then the tiniest bit of GH. Like
Okay.
I take 4 units 5 times a week just because I get really bad tendonitis, and so we think that GH probably makes my tendonitis a lot worse, and so we don't we don't run a lot of GH, and then Humalog with 4 mils.
Okay.
Can I just be representative of the viewers? Now, at least a handful of the viewers. So full of crap. I know he's using a lot of gear, man. They don't ever tell the truth. I don't know why they do that. If they would just tell us what the secret is, but they want to hide it and everything. There's no way. I see him.
He had to be
He's taking a little more.
blasting
I can continue.
grams
I
and
can keep
grams
going
to
if
get
you
where
want.
he's at.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. Yep. That's the unfortunate truth. I got a clip here from Chris because I asked Chris. I was like, "Hey, man, we were gonna interview Andrew today, and I figured I'd ask him for some thoughts." And he sent me a voice memo, and I said, "Hey, can I play this on the show?" And you guys tell me if you can hear this, okay? Because I'm just gonna play it off my phone.
Andrew, what can I say about Andrew? Obviously, we all know, looking at him, one hell of a physique. Talk about genetics that's on another level, right? So with genetics comes a lot of people in your ear blowing up expectations, and unfortunately, expectations in such a young athlete who has such potential can lead to detriment because the individual starts to create this fear that they're not going to live up to these expectations, and that's something we've seen with Trey Brewer and some other competitors in the past that didn't live up to the hype.
Oh, my phone turned off. There we go.
Because they crack because of the pressure. So if I can keep him in a good, even headspace with that, we'll be good. And the other is becoming over-analytical. He's a bit over-analytical, and I think that could come from the expectations that he places on himself due to the hype that's created around him because his physique is so incredible. People tell him how good he can be, and that can tend to create that, making sure you're doing everything perfect. You want to be perfect, which we all know can be very detrimental in bodybuilding. And obviously the third is he's pretty injury prone, more injury prone I've ever seen anybody his age. And that's kind of just learning how to navigate proper training. And obviously when you're young, you're full of piss and vinegar, a lot of strength, your body isn't hurt yet, so you tend to push too hard. So if we can manage injuries and we can manage those expectations and pressure, stay away from toxic women, this dude is going to be incredible. So our plan for him is to obviously get his qualification, but I want him to get his pro card the first time out. And obviously there's only so many things we can control with that. You don't know who shows up, but I want him to be unbelievable. So we're planning on the end of 2026, mid-2025. We'll see how he progresses. But 3 months working together, one hell of a kid. I really enjoy working with him. Great communications, very coachable.
That's cool.
And I have high hopes for him. I just want to keep him on an even playing ground. I'm really, really say this. I got to keep his head on straight. That's what I meant to say. Because, you know, being young, and again, those expectations, it's very hard because you're being pulled in so many different directions. And we've all been there young and not taking advice we should have. So I'm excited for the new year. That's for sure. I will be traveling to Andrew's show, no doubt.
Nice. Nice. How do you feel about that, man? Everything that he has to say?
Nah, Tuttle's a very good coach. He's kind of like a dad. Like, he cares more about his clients than most coaches in the world, I would say.
I think
That's
the
cool.
most important piece of advice that I heard him say, and this is from the dinosaur in the room, is the fact that you're coachable. And that's a big deal, especially when you're young, for those reasons that he stated. Everybody's in your ear. Everybody's telling you what you can do. The other part is the expectation. I found it ironic, and this is not a shot at Chris, but he's talking about the expectations and how that can add stress and make it. And yet he says, we want to get the card the first time, of course, but there's a higher expectation. So I just would say this, and this isn't to say that Chris is wrong. It's not what I'm saying, but it's also okay if you don't get that card the first time. It doesn't take away from what you've got in front of you, because you've got a long road. If you can manage the injuries, keep your head straight, you got a long, lucrative career in bodybuilding, I think.
Mm-hmm. What Chris says just comes from experience. I mean, every national show, I feel like me and Chris sit together and we just sit there and watch the physiques, and you just know a good physique, if he comes in shape, he's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
It's going to take a super duper extra freaky guy from the planet, whatever, that Atlas star comet that's coming towards us.
Right.
It's going to take the alien guy off that to beat the guy that we're talking about. So yeah, it just comes from experience. I don't think he's putting any undue expectations to expect a pro card out of the first run. I mean, just looking at those first initial pictures on your Instagram, structure's there, muscle bellies are there. Only things left is to come in condition, and you got the right man for it. So, yeah,
there is always that guy. I mean, I remember following nationals really close a few years back when Nate went up against Nick Walker, and when Nick showed up, Nick was the guy that year. It was like you could see it. Just Nick walked on stage, and you're like, oh yeah, Nick's the guy. Like he's
and Carlos Thomas Jr. a couple years later.
Another perfect example.
There's always one guy, usually at nationals or one of these national shows, that everyone in the Instagram world's been buzzing about, and rightfully so. It very rarely does that person let you down. They go and get the pro card, they probably win the overall, and they go on and have a good, success. Remember when Jewett, Derek Lunsford. Derek Lunsford wins the USA's. We were already talking about, he's probably going to win Tampa. And what does he do? He goes and wins Tampa a week later. He was that good,
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Just a quick shout out to True Nutrition. I figured I'd bring you to the home gym here, so welcome. And I just wanted to show you my order. So nothing big deal. I've got a few pounds of the cold filtered whey iso. I'm a big fan of the cookie butter flavor. I've been on this year. This has been my favorite. It's a very light protein overall. It's not going to bloat your digestion down. It's not going to cause a bunch of water retention. This is the kind of protein that I suggest to people who are doing a contest prep. They've got all your basic bodybuilding supplements like creatine. They've got great intra-workout, highly branched cyclic dextrin, which is the high end. And then they've got the cheaper stuff like Carbo Load, like anybody can afford that. And of course, use our code THINK. It'll get you 10% off. They really kicked up. It used to only be 5%. Now you get 10% off if you use the code. And it throws some money our way too, so it definitely helps the podcast out a ton.
Yeah. So what's up with the injury stuff? He was saying that you're super prone to injuries, and I had talked to him a little bit more than that. He said you guys are your training is not as high volume as he would generally have guys at your age. Can you tell us a little bit more about those aspects?
Yeah. So the damn cat. Injury prone. Yeah, like I I don't say break bones is easy, but like I like tear things, and I just like joints or ligaments, they get very beat up very easily. And so like last year, like 13 months ago, I broke my wrist and then two bones in my thumb. Just from like I was on a scooter in Nashville and I fell and broke it. And so I was out for like 8 weeks. And then right when I joined Tuttle, I was doing pendulum squats, and I got this really bad like knee pain, and I couldn't like even do a body weight squat for like 6 7 weeks. And so
Huh.
we were trying to rehab that, and then about like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I could start like implementing some like leg exercises again, and so we got into that. But then when that was starting to heal up, I got the tendon issue in my hand, and like this thumb, like I can move it about like this far,
Ooh.
like this tendon right here is like really swollen, and like but this one I can like I can do that.
Yeah.
So I get injured a lot. So like I'll have like a good like 8 weeks, and I'll like grow really fast, and then like I'll get out like injured, lose some size or lose some progression, and then shoot back up, and then kind of just it's like a yo-yo back and forth, but
Right,
like
right.
it keeps going up, but it's back and forth.
Yeah.
It's in the low volume, so like I do I can't recover as fast as a lot of people can. Like Total had me doing like 9 sets of back and then 12 sets of back. Like so like every 3 and every 4 days.
Okay.
And it wasn't to failure, like it was like 1 2 IR and like last set failure. And like I couldn't recover. Like I'd be sore for like 5 6 days, and like I was like not progressing on my lift. So we had to like adjust volume until like I could
Hmm.
like recover from it session to session.
So what's it look like now?
So he has me. So I used to always do like 2 times a week everything because I think frequency is important. But like for me, if I can't progress and like doing 3 sets for a muscle group isn't as good as let's say like 9 sets once a week, I would think. I still need more stimulus per session than 3 sets. So it's 6 sets of back, at 2 times every 8 day, 2 times a week, or 2 times every 8 days, I guess, and then chest once a week, which is I think like 8 sets, and then like 4 sets of shoulders twice a week, and then I do 6 sets of quads, and then 5 sets of hamstrings every 8 days, and then arms
Okay.
is like 6 sets of bis and 6 sets of tries a week.
So you're
Okay.
already not 21 years old, because the average 21-year-old would be sticking to this, man, I got to do this. Like, why? If I just keep grinding harder and harder, it's going to fix itself. So, that tells me too, you're a little bit ahead of the game
It's
for
part
your
of that
age
being
because you are
coachable, right?
reading that feedback. Exactly. And reading the
Yeah.
feedback, which is important because so many people don't. Matter of fact, older dudes don't.
No.
Dinosaurs don't. They get set
No.
in those ways and they have their patterns, and it's hard to fix it. At least with your age, those patterns aren't set. They haven't been set for years or arguably decades, and they can be changed. So that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was self coached for like about 5 6 months before Tuttle, and I was like, it's kind of hard to self coach. Like you're over analyzing and stuff. Like I can
Mhm.
make a meal plan for myself, but like I'm sitting there trying to self coach myself. It's a little challenging. So I was like, I need someone that I really respect and I know has built physiques that like I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Tuttle is the person I want. And then so I texted Tuttle, and then he was like, okay, let's go. And so here we are.
That's cool. That's cool. What he was saying too, like all the people in your ears. Because I'm sure of it, man. I met you and I'm like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? And I'm sure that you get a lot of people who are like reaching out. They want something from you, or they want to throw advice at you. Hey, you got to do it this way, do that. Can you talk to us a little bit about that kind of pressure? Being fairly young in the sport and having a promising future. Can you tell us about what that experience is like, kind of getting hounded by people and the, as he said, the pressure that goes into that?
Yeah. Like I'd say like it's pressure, but like I think it's more I have more pressure on myself. Like
Hmm.
like for me to win for my own goals and career than like other people set on me. Because like I am pretty much betting on myself to do good in bodybuilding so I can like further my career and make a career out of it pretty much. And so like, it's kind of like I need to do this. I need to win. I need to be the best bodybuilder. So that gives me stress because of like how I get injured so often. I'm like, fuck, like this is so many, like another setback, whatever. And then kind of I get stressed out. And then Tuttle's in my ear telling me, "You're fine. We'll get over this." And then he's like, "If you just stay healthy for one, even just one good growth phase, then you can do big things." And so,
What do those weights look like? Not specific numbers, but I'm curious. You know, are you banging like a typical 21-year-old in the sense that I want to move as much weight as I can, or is Chris pulling you back a little bit on that, or have you decided, yeah, okay, maybe I should pull myself back, or are you just taking advantage of the fact that I was gonna say you're made of rubber, but you've already proven that you're not made of rubber like the typical 21-year-old? So there's that. But have you noticed that? And the reason that I ask this is because, you know, I've been around a long time, so I competed against Phil. I was backstage when Phil met Jay Cutler years ago in Colorado. And one of the things that he told Phil, not at that moment, but in the gym while he had him under his wing, was he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can move the 160s. You can move the 170s. But if you want to stay in this game for a long time, those 130s are going to work just fine. So just kind of relating it to that, are you holding back, or are you still getting what you can out of those poundages? And where are you with that?
yeah, like before Tuttle, I was a bit like, kind of like the Dorian Yates, Jordan Peters approach. Like it was like, do not miss. Like you need to progress every session in reps or weight. And so like I'd go do like 365 on incline Smith machine, and like every week I would try to progress and progress and progress. And the same thing with like leg press, where I was like ending up like full stacking leg press machines or like doing 6, 7 plates on a pendulum squat. And then I got with Tuttle, and Tuttle was like, "You're not a bodybuilder." He's like, "You're a weightlifter." And so he has me sending training clips a lot, making sure I don't just like get too hyped and like
Right.
do too much weight and then just like go from A to B. And I used to do a lot of lower reps stuff.
Oh, okay. Maybe you guys changed that now?
Yeah, I do more like I stick to more about like 8 to 15 or so for everything.
Okay. Yeah,
Before
your
I was like,
technique
so what?
technique looks really good on everything, man. The
Yeah, I'm
videos
looking at
that
the
we're
same.
watching here. You know, it's like really
Yeah.
nice control and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, this was like I think this was like my second leg session back or maybe third.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
where are
really.
you? Just out of curiosity, like where I'm in Florida. Andrew's in Florida. Scott's in essentially 8 Mile,
Detroit.
M&M territory.
Yeah.
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Or the suburbs of Nashville.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I hear Tennessee's a good state for bodybuilding overall.
Good state for food.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, dude,
I'd
especially
say.
breakfast
Nashville's
food,
a
man.
foodie town. Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of chicken places around here. Yeah. I don't think it's good for bodybuilding. There's like the gym I'm at right now. I just
Yeah.
switched to that gym, and that's probably the best gym I could find in
Okay.
like a 50-mile radius.
Okay.
It's
I guess
not-
I just think of like that Murfreesboro area where
yeah,
everybody's
Murfreesboro.
like, yeah.
That's where Brandon Curry's at. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see
Murphy-
some cool gyms out there.
Yeah, Murfreesboro's not bad. It has like carbon and stuff, which is what I used to go to.
Oh, you used to go out there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I've met
Yeah.
Brandon a few times.
Yeah,
But-
he's really cool.
Can I throw in a little piece of dinosaur advice for you? I was going to say it
That's what we're
earlier,
here
but I
for,
didn't.
Skip.
Kid
Well,
doesn't have a choice, Skip.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to sidetrack the conversation earlier, so I was kind of waiting. But I want to go back to when you were explaining what you do. Andrew asked you what you do, and you were saying what you had done since you finished high school. And I sensed a little bit of apprehension, almost like, okay, I was moving, like I was doing some moving stuff, and I kind of got the feeling, and I could be completely wrong, but almost like you felt like, okay, I have to justify this, like you're getting, like the rest of us, all of us, I guess, are going to be judged by society based on what we're doing. And then you went into the bodybuilding component of it, where you're getting paid. You're starting to get paid for just training. And I would say this, I don't know if this is how you feel, but I would understand if you did, that you're going to be judged on that. And all I would say is you have something in front of you that that the vast majority of people dream of doing. So if you ever feel guilty about making money, what most would deem the easy way, F everybody else. If you get to sit around and train a couple hours a day and you get to play Nintendo or Mario Brothers or whatever the hell's going on, I dated myself with that. But nonetheless,
If you get to play
don't
Atari,
ever feel, yeah, exactly. Pong, yeah, or exactly. But don't ever feel guilty about that. And I don't know that you do, but I just kind of sensed it with that. Like you had to justify that. Okay, maybe I'm making easy money over here. Easy money is the best money in the world. Okay, so I'm just lending you that piece of advice there. F what everybody else says. Do your thing.
Yeah, I don't feel like guilty, but I would say that recently I have had it easier than other people. Like moving. I worked for my wife. When I worked for a moving company, it sucked.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
not easy
Oh, yeah.
work.
In summer, 12-hour days, and then going to hit legs after that,
Mhm.
and then waking back up at like 5-6 a.m. That was 1,000 times harder than waking up, doing fasted cardio, answering check-ins, and then like posting like Code Drew or on some like mineral supplements or whatever.
Sure. Yep. And you're gonna have those friends who are doing the same thing because they may be busting their ass. That's okay. Follow the dream.
Yeah, or I'll have like friends like I was jealous of, like they were doing what I'm doing now, and I was like, I need to be like them. Like I was like, they can bodybuild full time, and it's so much easier to bodybuild when you just only bodybuild.
it's such a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to the part of it where you had said, like, you put the pressure on yourself. I get it because I feel that way about everything I do with coaching, with the podcast. Like, this is my career, right? And there's other people out there who do a podcast and they just do it for fun because they want to do a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And to them, it's not nearly as important that the show does well as it is for me, somebody who, like, this is the thing that I do. And the same with coaching. There's people who like just coach because they want to make a few extra bucks on the side. They're making some money so they can buy something nice for their girlfriend or whatever and show off on Instagram. And it's kind of cool, to be a coach. But when you're coaching, because that's your income, I feel like it does force you to take it more seriously. I feel like when this is how you pay your bills, there is an air of like, hey, if I don't, so I get it, man. You're saying like, hey, I get hurt. That means if me getting hurt means I can't go to the gym, that affects my ability to pay the electric bill this month or pay my health care, stuff like that. So I think at one side of it, I think that that's awesome because it does force you. Like Dorian said, he didn't have a plan B. It was his only thing that he could do. But on the other side, man, it is a lot of freaking pressure to put on yourself. My fear is, I think that sometimes it's like we get into things because we initially had a passion for them, and then it becomes the job, and we can still love it, but it can be easier to kind of get, I don't know, like, do you guys know what I'm talking about?
It becomes
Skip Andrew?
obligatory. Yeah, it becomes obligatory. Sure. There may come a time where you don't enjoy it, and you know what? Shit out of luck.
Well, I think the other thing to point out, though, so because you've invested, you put your eggs in this basket, which is great. I'm totally supportive of it, right? One, there's no 401k for coaches and bodybuilders, right? So it means you got to develop some financial literacy and some financial intelligence at a young age that maybe your friends don't have to, that have a job that is paying a salary, benefits, 401k, retirement plan, right? So it means you have to mature probably faster than your friends in some way, shape, or form. And then the other thing is, what was my other point? I already forgot it, damn it. Skip, say something.
The pressure. What I was coming back to, though, was the pressure that you put on yourself with that.
Yeah. I think you got to use that as, I hate using the word motivation, but because it's like you're in the prime of your life. You're going to do everything you can to build the physique of your dreams and to make it lucrative in the sense that sponsors want to keep sponsoring you and people want to keep paying to come watch you in shows. So, I mean, the motivation is there, obviously, but I think you're probably asking yourself the right questions. Like, okay, like you said, I want to have that life that my friend has, right? But now you're in that life. really start thinking, look up to other guys. Like, I think a good example of someone who was in a situation just like you, Evan Centopani. You know, he won nationals at a very young age, and he started making money with the supplement contracts. He had a really good mentor, he told me, that was in the financial industry and got him into investing, saving at a very young age. And that's what he does professionally now. He's my financial guy. So my advice,
didn't know that.
yeah, my advice to you is to start making those adult decisions, or start having those adult thoughts in terms of, hey, like if you did have a catastrophic injury, you have this gap of time from high school to now where you didn't do anything productive in society's point of view, right?
Mhm.
I know I sound like a downer, right? I'm trying to make this like a positive, like advice type thing, because
Yeah.
the guys I see that are thinking this way, like they start thinking, okay, I got my money coming in from bodybuilding. Now I'm going to apply my intelligence to, I'm going to start a business maybe related to bodybuilding. Now I got another income stream. So if I do get hurt or I can't compete for 2 years, okay, I got something to fall back on, whether it's coaching, maybe starting your own supplement company. I think I saw, do you have a t-shirt company or a clothing company?
I'm sponsored by Feral Supplements.
Okay.
That's the shirt I'm wearing.
Okay. But I thought I saw on your Instagram, was there another clothing company or was that?
Control Insanity. I'm
Okay.
sponsored by them as well.
Gotcha. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
They
Gotcha.
have like Justin Shire and like Quentin Beastwood and all of them.
Nice. So you're in good company then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To cut to your point, Andrew, and correct me if I'm wrong, but basically what you're saying is you can eliminate or reduce some of that fear if there might be a little something on the side in case something does go south. It
There you
doesn't
go.
take away from the passion
Yeah.
of your goals.
Exactly.
You know what you want to do, but you've got an option B so that you can continue to enjoy it versus it being this obligatory, I have no other choice. This is what I have to do. And I
There
know
will
that,
be
being
days
21,
that you don't want
you're
to
getting
down
advice
the road.
Yeah. Oh, no question.
You know?
No question. But you're getting advice from everybody. So, I
Yeah.
feel guilty going down that path. But at the same time, you know what? I look back when I was 21 and I wish I would have gotten more advice. I probably wouldn't have listened to it. I'll be honest. But I wish I'd have gotten that advice and had the opportunity to at least weigh those things out. And I didn't.
No, I listen to everybody. Everybody that gives me like advice, I listen to because it's very helpful. Because like I don't know shit. Like I don't know like anything about financial advisors or like investing or anything. So
Okay,
like,
it's the worst case scenario, really. I'll put it on the table. Something happens, 3, 4, 5 years, you're back moving furniture. And I'm not saying that is not a good way to make a living or anything else. That's not what
Sure.
I'm saying. So anybody who's listening, what I'm saying is this. That will psychologically strike you as, I just went backwards. I went back to what I was doing before, and that puts you back to that younger age, and you will feel psychologically, literally, like you failed. And that I can't think of anything worse than that type of feeling than feeling like you're going backwards.
Well, let's just look at it like even at your age, Skip, because you're not a young chicken, and neither is Scott and I. Like if suddenly the coaching industry was done, right? Like the IFBB dissolved, NPC dissolved. There's no one that can coach anymore. Some law passed or some shit, right? What would we all do? You know what I'm saying? And unless you have some backups that are going, so it's the same thing that applies to you. We all have these thoughts and these conversations as coaches. We're like, a prime example was during the COVID year, 2020, when everything shut down. A lot of coaches who already had a ton of clients were sitting there saying, well, if the government's telling people they can't work and half these people are getting laid off, that means they can't pay me. What does that mean for me and my income? Right. So it's just, you gotta just start having those thoughts and those conversations with yourself on
There were quite a few GoFundMe accounts during the 2020 COVID thing, when all these guys were claiming about all the money they had, and 2 months later they couldn't get through 3 or 4 months without that income. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny because that just kind of, you screwed yourself by being so arrogant and acting like you had so much money, and then as soon as it's gone for 2 months, you're screwed. So that's a really good example. Oh, man.
All right,
There
I got
were
a
a lot
fun
of,
question. I got a fun question. I'm going to steer us away from the darkness, Skip. Cats. Cats. You guys have something in common. I don't think that Andrew has
Andrew's
as many
an
cats as you
allurophile.
have yet.
He's close.
What's the word
I
again?
think he said 3, right?
yeah, how many cats do you have?
Everyone?
Yeah,
No, I got 5.
you have 5.
I would only have 2 if it weren't for my daughters. I've had too many kids. So I had the 3, we have 4 kids. 3 of the girls each brought a cat home. Well, you like cats. If you had a kid and she's kind of cute and she brings home a cat, you're not going to be like, oh, okay, the cat can't stay, because you see the cat and the cat's kind of cute and you're a cat guy. So you feel me? I mean, you see what I'm
Boom.
doing here?
Then you got 4 cats, Andrew. Then it's
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I love cats, but like, yeah, if I saw one on like the street or whatever, it was like super sick, I would probably take it in. But like, I would also when he got bigger, I'd be a little upset because cats they're little bitches
They
sometimes.
tear up. Do you have like? Are they kind of mutt cats or like what? Do you have? What do you have?
I have 2 orange tabbies and then a
Okay.
gray tabby. They're all guys and they're all
Mhm.
neutered.
Let me ask you this, without getting Debbie Downer here, but have the 2 orange boys had any health problems?
Yeah, yeah, we got them from we got all of them from a. Okay. So what's it? Where did we go again? We all got them from like a cat rescue place.
Okay, all right.
Huh.
And one of the orange cats had he has like an eye defect where like his eye is like cataracts or something. It's very blurry.
Okay.
So he's kind of like partially blind in one eye, but the other one is completely fine.
Okay. The reason I asked is you got to watch out for urinary issues. Cost me $12,000 on our orange cat. So it was either that or put him down, and it got to 3 hours before putting him down, and I called my wife. Slightly emotional. I said, we have to do this surgery. Like, I can't not do it. There's a double negative, but whatever. I can say what I want. So I just wondered. I was just curious.
Have you guys looked into insurance for cats?
I have insurance for my cats.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
And it was still $12,000, Skip?
Let's just say I got that after.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and understand. I mean, I've got a Savannah, an F2
Yeah.
Savannah, and I've got a Bengal. I mean, they're expensive. The other 3 are the mutt cats, but they have cost every bit as much as the Bengal and the Savannah combined. So it is. I learned that lesson the hard way.
What Dom asks us, what's your favorite go-to cheat meal, Andrew?
Probably just sushi, honestly, or just a
Okay.
basic burger and fry.
Okay.
True
I'm
bodybuilder. True
Yep,
bodybuilder.
that's what I was thinking too.
I'm not special. I literally eat just chicken and rice and veggies, and then beef and rice, and then cream of rice.
Well, we're gonna have to talk in about 5 years when you're making a lot of money and you figure out that there's really good food out there.
Skip's really stuck up about his food. Yeah.
I am a foodie and I am a snob. There's no question.
Yeah, I think the only cheat meals I get is like I go to like this like sports grill place, sports bar and grill near me. I'll get a burger and fry, or like if it's like a lunch special, I'll go get like 8 rolls of sushi for like $25, and then I'll
Nice.
save that
Damn.
for my post workout.
Nice.
So, are you a guy that like do you push a lot of food to put size on, or what does your diet look like?
Yeah. So yeah, when I first got with Tuttle, he actually wanted me to send pictures of me eating all my meals every day at one point because he didn't believe that I was eating all my meals because I had so much food. So
Okay.
I think so. We got up to I think it was about 950 carb, like 140, 130 fat, and then like 380 protein. Whatever I typed in on MyFitnessPal.
Okay.
But so he does everything in like 15-gram carb increments, I think. So it was like I think it was like 465 rice per meal, and then like plus you're like 115 grams of pineapple or 100 grams of blueberries per meal, and then 15 grams of oil, and that was spread out through 5 meals a day, and then plus like oats and peanut butter, and then 60 grams of intra.
Do you keep the food up pretty high when you were dieting previously, or
Yeah,
that'd been
yeah,
a
I
while
think
now, wasn't it?
yeah, I was a bit smaller back then, but my food was I think it was like 3,000 on rest days, and like I think it was like 3,700 training and like 4,000 high days, and that
Okay.
got me down from like 230 to like 195
Oh,
or 196.
Okay. Hey, I had one
Ton of
more. This is
cardio?
from
I know
Sorry.
I did
cardio?
like a cardio through prep.
like it. I like
Yeah.
I got one more.
was for
This
minute-
is from Jonathan. He asked us. He said, "It's not an important question," but he said, and we'll ask Andrew first. Would you take $1 million in exchange for quitting bodybuilding and all exercise? Let's say that it wouldn't be detrimental for your health to quit exercise, though.
No,
$1 million bucks.
I
You could make
wouldn't.
more than $1 million bucks.
Yeah, you could make more than $1 million.
Even if I couldn't make more than $1 million, like bodybuilding is like what I wake up to do. So
Wait till you got a mortgage, though. The answer might vary a little differently when you got a mortgage and you got like
responsibilities.
yeah, but even then, still like you should have said like $10 million, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Something that's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little unattainable for.
But you know
10,
what? I
20?
think the million puts it in because you just sounded like me when you said that, Andrew. And like, well, wait till you have a mortgage or anything. I'm thinking, wait until you've done it for a while and you realize that you are not going to go any further in the sport. That you are tapped out genetically and that sort of thing. And then it's like, okay, now I'll
I
take
should
$1
have
million.
taken the million.
Yeah.
Exactly. But prior to that, you're like, I don't know, I'm living the dream here. So I get it. That's an age difference. That's a I don't want to say wisdom, but it's an experience type thing where, I mean, if I was 21, there was no way you would have talked me into that. And $1 million back then
Oh,
was
geez.
substantially more than what it is now.
In the
So there's
1960s, dude, $1 million was like $3 million today.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Well, man, this is awesome. I'm really glad that you could take the time, hang out with us, and we could get to know you a little bit better. I'm excited for 26. I'm going to be following your Instagram, and I'll have that listed below for anybody else who wants to follow you. We can see what you're doing next year, either possibly USA's, possibly North Americans. That'll be cool, man. Tell us about your sponsors. You said you got a couple of them, right?
Yeah, so Pharaoh Supplements, they're like I know y'all know who like the Trend Twins are, most
Oh
likely.
yeah.
So yeah, they made a supplement brand, and then so that I'm their first and only athlete right now.
Okay.
And so like I'll go like I went to the Olympia with them like a few weeks ago, and
That's why you
did
were
all that
there.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm with them, so I just get supplied a crazy amount of cream of rice and protein powder. Saves me a lot of money. 'Cause I ate a lot of cream. I ate a lot of cream of rice, and then Control Insanity. This is just the clothing brand I'm with, and I've been with them for probably like 6-7 months now. Pretty much after I got onto prep, after I went into prep, then like I started getting some traction and some sponsors and stuff.
That's cool. I'm sure it's only going to pick up this next year too. So what you were hanging out then with the Trend Twins, dude? That booth was freaking busy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, they are famous. They're very popular. They're more popular than bodybuilders. More. It's pretty crazy.
There were more people hanging out to meet them than there were to meet like any of the pros, guys. It was like the craziest, most busy part of the expo was down there by them, and I think Young LA was down there. A couple other things too that all the young people were hanging out to watch.
Yeah, Sam Sulik and then the Trent Twins.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate having you here, man. And like I said, we'll put links in the description. Anybody who wants to follow what you're doing. And yeah, man, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Nice to meet y'all, man. Yeah, I look up to y'all a lot, for real.
We're pulling for you.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me feel old as fuck. Sorry.
Yeah,
No, you know what? But it is cool because I see that. Don't we all see a little bit of him, not the genetic potential, in ourselves, though, at that age? Listen to him. It takes me back. I don't know if it did the same thing for you guys, but
yeah, it took
you
me
can
back
see.
too, man.
He's just kind of living it, It's all new to him. It's all fresh. It's all awesome. He hasn't been jaded by the industry yet. He turned into an asshole. You know what I mean? Got the humility.
It doesn't take me back because I think when we were that age, the opportunities for 20, 21-year-olds were just not the same. You know what I mean? Like
True. Not that aspect, but
it's almost
for
like
me.
college football. Like they're signing like kids in high school at 14 now, right? To commit to big time football.
That's wild.
Yeah, but it's almost like the same thing. This guy has, and the guy's going to go pro next year, whichever show it is.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, has yet to step on stage and already has contracts, which kudos to him.
Yeah.
If I was a supplement company owner, I'd try to lock him up into a 3 to 5 year deal
Oh,
immediately.
no.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, opportunities are there for these
Reminds
guys.
Yeah,
you of that name of that asshole named Phil, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, it kind of does.
Yeah.
And
he looks
I
better.
tried not to talk about that because I've talked about it so much, and it's a dated, that's a few years ago. But there are parallels there.
one could argue he looks genetically superior at this point in time than he did
yes.
at that point in time.
That's
Yep.
a good point
So-
too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good find, Tuttle. Good find.
Yeah, that is cool. He's a nice guy too, like super pleasant, super friendly, and like I said, he knew the show. He listens to us. We didn't get into all that, but he's
Nice.
yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Oh no,
We do
kid. Andrew, I want to make sure I understand. Andrew listens to us.
Yeah.
He knew Scott. He
Oh, no
recognized
shit.
Scott. He recognized
Yeah,
Scott at the
that's
booth.
how I met him
Okay,
at the Olympia. I was just standing out in the
I
middle
didn't-
of the aisle. I wasn't even at the booth, and another guy stopped me, and I was talking to him, and as Andrew walked by, he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Scott? I love the podcast." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And the other guy was another young guy. He was like, "Oh, that's Andrew. I know him. He's a good bodybuilder. You know, he's working with Chris Tuttle. Like he knew all the stats. You know what I mean?" So that was kind of cool. So I was like, "Hey, good to meet you, man." And I said, "Hey, you know, what's your Instagram? I'm going to follow you." And then I thought about it a day or two later. I was like, "Yo, we should get him on the show, hang out with Skip and Andrew and me, get to know him a
That is
little bit."
cool.
Because literally,
Sometimes I have to remind myself that it's not just my mom who watches the show. Other people
Yeah.
do, they do watch the show. You notice I'm
Yeah.
going old school today?
Was it your mom that left that comment in this comment section?
Only if it was negative.
No.
Oh,
Read the one from Dom.
oh,
I'll have
which
to
one?
check it out.
Which one was it? What did you say? Skip gets mad pussy.
Yeah.
That one?
Oh, that's horrible, Andrew.
You know what it was too? And it was when you guys were talking about your cats. I tried to text it to you because I didn't know if Scott wanted to bring it up.
I don't have and I don't know why, but since we've used Riverside, I don't bring up the comments. I don't know. I always say I can't find them, and then you tell me how to see them, and then I forget about it and can't. I don't know how to do it.
Just go to the right where it says chat. Or people. Click on
There
the thing
is
that
no-
says. There's a button that says chat. At least there is for me. What does he
I
have
see
to
it
do,
too.
Andrew?
I see it too.
Does it say
So
chat?
if all three of us are on the screen, you don't have the chat already open. On the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little chat with a little 3 right now because there's 3 comments that propagated since I last had it open.
Okay, and then I click on Studio Chat. No, that's us.
Click on the live stream chat.
There you go.
You learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, well, my
Not
bulb got a
all the
little
youth
dimmer.
is lost. Somebody said.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we hop into some listener questions here? I think, guys,
Yeah.
or we just wrap this
Let's
up?
do
What do you
it.
think?
Let's
All
bang
right.
5 out. Let's bang 3 to 5 out.
All right, guys. So a bunch of you had asked for tank tops. So the day has finally come that we've got them. If you're interested in one of our tanks, check them out at the merch store. I'll have links below. Who knows? You might end up meeting somebody else that listens to the shows too. I've had that happen more than once. Somebody's like, "Hey, you listen to that podcast? I like those guys too." And before you know it, there's a budding bromance just waiting to happen. So if you want to look freaking jacked and support the podcast, you guys can do that all at the same time. Just check out the shirts. All right, cool.
Rapid
All
fire.
right. Rack Poll says, I have a question I think might be an interesting topic. Okay. A lot of top guys and sometimes even coaches give out advice based on where they are now versus what it took them to bring up their physiques to a high level. For example, recommending lower protein or calorie intake, less intense training, drug advice, etc. Have you noticed this trend or even caught yourselves doing it before? Or do you think it actually is a realization that some of these things were completely unnecessary? Hey, I'll throw it in out the gate that I recognize now maybe I didn't need as much as I once thought I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? You guys ever like, hey, maybe we should take that just to cross the T's, dot the I's. But then you always have a guy who's like, hey, you know what? I don't want to run whatever compound, for instance. And you're like, okay, we'll do it without it. And then you learn, guess what? He turned out just as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say yes and no to the question, right? Because like anything in our sport, it all depends, right? But I do think a lot of us, back in the day, we just followed the excess rule, right? Like, well,
Yeah.
I need to eat more. I need to train more. I need to lift more weight. I need to I take more drugs, whatever it might be, right? It was always just more, right? If I just do a little bit more, if I train my arms 3 days a week, they're going to grow, right? And I think, coaches today bringing up points of like, I think what they're doing is looking back on their career and they're saying, I grew back then probably despite what I did, not necessarily because of what I did, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying that because they're using their new models with athletes and getting results in faster time, keeping them healthier, and just getting better results in general. For instance, let's just talk about diet, right? Back in the day, you had your off-season diet, and then when the scale stopped moving, you added more food. And then the scale stopped moving, you add more food. We didn't check blood sugar. We didn't even know what that was. Right. So we had no idea if we were insulin sensitive. We had no idea if we were partitioning those nutrients in a decent way. And we probably, it was either like, there was never any pulling back strategically. It was like you got to a point where you just got to a point where you couldn't eat anymore. You missed a meal and you felt like shit for the rest of the week, like a failure, like you weren't ever going to be able to do anything in bodybuilding because you missed that one meal, right? Yeah. Whereas now it's like when an athlete tells me, hey, like I'm regurgitating my last meals up. I'm having a hard time getting to my next meal, let alone this meal. Like, to me, that's a warning sign. Like, why am I going to keep pounding food at you? I'm just making you unhealthy. We're losing insulin sensitivity. You're going to be bloated in the gym, which is going to affect your training. It's like, no, it's time to pull back. Let's make an intelligent decision here. So that's just one example. I'm sure Skip has some as well.
Well, I mean, it depends on how far you're going to go back, too. I mean, if we go back 30 years, the instruction, at least psychologically in our own brain, would be like, you know what, I got to get that food in. And you're scooping it up after it has come out. Not necessarily vomit, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like, no, I got to get that food in. Or, like you said, you're screwing everything up. So I think people need to understand, too, that the three of us have done this for a very long time. So we're not going back 5 years to when we started. We're not going back 7 years. We're going back a long way. So during the time that we've all been training, there has been this evolution, not only in training technology as far as equipment, but nutrition as far as supplements, peptides as far as gear. There have been so many huge changes in everything that is included inside bodybuilding that you just, after a lot of those years go by, you just, like you said, Scott, or touched on, we're weeding out the things that we think, okay, this probably wasn't as important as we thought it was. And it's easier for us to weed those things out because we have so much time invested and so much experience versus someone who might only have the 5 years, the 7 years, the 3 years. So, you go to Andrew, the 21-year-old, I'm sure 3 years to him is a really long time. He's not doing the same things he was doing at 18 or 17. But if I go back 3 years, I'm laughing. That's like 30 seconds to this kid, Big difference.
I would take it a step further and take those years you're talking about, Skip, and multiply them times hundreds of people, because we're not just talking about ourselves. Right. We're talking about things we've tried with people.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's like, yeah, there's some things that turn out to be trends in the industry or with coaching. You learn something from someone else or you hear about it and you're like, oh, let me try that. But then a lot of the things you do with people just come to you inherently and you try it out and you see results and so you replicate it more and more and more. And you continue to get reinforcement that these results or the plan, the change that you made is a viable plan change for some people in specific instances. So, yeah, I think, how many people do you think we've coached between the three of us? Like 4,000 or 5,000? Like,
oh, I was thinking half the world's population, but whatever.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know. Is it 15,000? Like, it's got to be an astronomical number.
Yeah, it's a lot of experience to have had, and yeah, I just keep going back to thinking that, there was a time like when I first learned how to coach. When I first learned how to diet, really is what it comes down to. There was one way to do it. It was written in stone. You had to do it this way, and you had to use these foods, and like you had to just hold your breath that it was gonna work the first time I did it, and then over time though, let's use that as an example. Like let's say the old school 6 foods that work, which those 6 foods, they do work. There's no question about it. But then we kind of expanded and over time, and then we've realized that there are other things that can work as well. I don't mean to cause any controversy, Dave, if you're listening to this at this moment. Usually if something comes up with Dave Pulcinella or the 6 foods that work, it gets back to him. So he may see this right now.
Oh, I didn't
But
get the reference.
You know what I'm saying though? Like that
Yeah,
over
of
time
course.
you recognize like, okay, this things didn't work this way for this person. He didn't, or like the drug stuff. You think to yourself, man, I got to use Halo every time that I compete. It has to be in until the time that you don't use it, or you work with a client that doesn't use it. And then you realize like, oh, guess what? It still worked out, or there was another way, or that diet didn't work for this guy. So we tried something. Like there's just, you realize that maybe you didn't need to go as strict with things as you once thought you did.
Absolutely.
What about food allergies? We weren't dealing with food allergies, or at least noticing. I mean, we laughed about, laughed about gluten. Oh, everybody's using the gluten excuse because they were, but at the same time, then you find out accidentally, oh, maybe there is something to this gluten because I accidentally left it out for 5 months and now I've got abdominal cramps when I ate a bunch of bread.
Yep. Yeah.
So, there's a lot. There's just been so many things that the list is too long to even begin to run it down. So, and I think because we have all that experience, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the things that we've done right before we're going to talk about the things that we have shelved. We need to be asked specifically what those things are because people want to know what works well. What have you found that's part of wanting to know what our experience and knowledge is?
I will say, just to add, because there was a specific ask about the lower protein. I do think, especially when it comes to competition, lowering your protein over that final week is a game changer for abdominal control, for getting rid of bloated midsections, and for you got to think you're going to be replacing with a lot more carbohydrates typically at some point during that week, and it's just a no-brainer to me now. So.
Yep.
All right, got another one here. We can maybe rapid fire through this. Hey guys, I am from Iceland and I live the lifestyle and I love the show. I'm running 1 ml of test, 1 ml NPP every other day. I'm planning to switch to Deca 300 to 400 milligrams a week. What is the best way to switch? I also want to ask if you can take D-ball only on leg days and back days like you would with Anadrol. Thanks, guys.
I thought when he said I was part of I lived the lifestyle, he was going to mention something about being a swinger, because I thought that was the lingo that they use. But
the lifestyle.
Yeah. I saw a documentary about that, and they're like, well, when you're in the lifestyle,
I saw a documentary. Listen to him, Scott.
Sure,
now,
documentary and
couple upside down pineapple shirts in his closet.
If we had that going on, I'd be the first to tell you. Okay.
We'd already know.
Just not on air.
I'd tell you on air.
Maybe
because
on the air.
it's great advertising for the lifestyle.
Hey, it's huge in bodybuilding. We all know that.
And it's big in Florida, from what I hear too.
It's actually real, dude. I came across a Reddit thread. There's a
is it?
Right. No, there is a massive community down here, and I think it's prevalent in bodybuilding because we're all hyperandrogenized and hypersexualized, and
or vain.
We also meet up at shows at particular times of the year where rules don't really apply like they do when you're in your 9 to 5 at home, But to get to this Icelandic gentleman's question, he wants to know, can he swap from NPP to Deca?
Yeah, how would he?
Yeah,
do
and
that?
how to transition it.
Take the syringe that you had NPP in, squirt it into the sink, and then load it up with. I
think
think people are trying to make it too.
Yeah.
Just
too
make the switch. Just make the switch. If you want to do like 50-50 for a week, do 50-50 for a week, But
yeah, I'd do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna?
You're not going from a long ester to an acetate or a suspension or no ester or anything like that.
Yeah.
The NPP and the Deca, they're not right next to each other, but they're not. There's not this huge difference or disparity in esters too. So just pick up the Deca and run the Deca. Now the other one about the Anadrol, I lost that question because I was trying.
Can you take D-ball on leg and back days like you would like maybe load it on?
Absolutely, you can.
Oh yeah,
absolutely you can.
Scott, you have experience with doing that, right?
Oh yeah. I'm a fan. You can call me a fan. In fact, injectable D-ball was my personal favorite. I like the injectable D-ball just because it never messed with my digestion. And never affected my appetite. And I found that that's something I still could do if I wanted to, like occasionally, if you ran it 1-2 times a week. versus if I ran it every day, man. I'd tell you like the first week I'd be like, oh guys, I'm back on deep ball, it's awesome. And then the second week I'd be like, oh, I had to stop it because I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
You know.
He's like sweating. He's got like acne like a kid all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like
bloated.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do we got here? We'll get to that in the next show. Question for the podcast, especially following this weekend. Okay. Do you think this weekend's showing of Keon, do you guys think that growth hormone could have caused or worsened the diastasis due to increased relaxin? I've heard that during pregnancy, relaxin is elevated and it helps the abdomen, the diastasis stretch out.
No. I think that's just his anatomy. You know what I mean? Like he's stage lean, so you see the diastasis a lot more prevalent on stage when he's flexing his abs. You know, one thing, he has a really nice vacuum. He does a good job with his vacuum when he's doing his front double, and I feel like if the only pose I don't love on him is his when he's hitting his abdominals. Actually, you know, I feel like maybe he should just hit a vacuum. And then don't do anything like crunch down that's going to push them out even more. I'm doing it like people can see me behind my desk, but for some reason that's how my brain works. But I don't, and I know a lot of guys that don't have the best midsections. They do a quick ab for like 2 seconds, and then they drop the arm down and kind of turn it into a most muscular shot.
Yeah.
He skips laughing. He's like, "Yep, been using that one for 10 years."
Yep.
No, but it's like sometimes it actually just makes your abs look worse. So just stay in the vacuum, I think. And I'm critiquing one of the top 3 to 5 best bodybuilders in the world right now. So take that with a huge grain of salt. I'm sure he's tried every angle, every abdominal shot. It's if we can say he's got a flaw, that's the flaw.
Which is hard to pick out on.
Yeah. Well, let's tell you one thing though. Did you guys watch the show, the EVLS Prague show?
No.
Dude.
No, I just saw the pictures.
Okay, what'd you notice about those pictures?
They're terrible.
Yeah, like, okay, it's 2025. We've been complaining about backdrops and lighting, every year for the last, 10 years, including the Olympia, the Arnold class. Like, promoters, figure it the frick out. Like, come on, you guys.
Ron and Dustin pointed it out to me. And then when I saw it, they just, for people who hadn't seen it, describe to them what it looked like.
So, what's the Star Wars where it's the girl Jedi and she fights against Darth Vader? That last scene when they're in that room and they're taking on the master boss that's kind of pulling the strings with Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like
fiction.
It's like the only last one I've seen. It's like kind of dark and red like that. It's like a red tinge, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, I kind of see what's going on. I think there's a fight scene, and it's kind of what I was thinking. What's that? It was the first show that took place in hell. Yes, that's a great. Dane had a great. That's excellent. It's like I'm watching it and I'm like, I think the guys look good. I don't know. I haven't really seen good pictures because it was so dark you couldn't get good detail. And I will say it favored the white guys. Like you saw the detail on Martin that we've never seen before. He looked absolutely amazing. He's the guy to watch. This next year. The black guys, I think they were on stage. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you couldn't see any detail on them, and it's not their fault. Like, I'm sure Samson brought a much improved look. I'm sure Keon looked a little better filled out the way he wanted to. But the color, these promoters got to figure this out for what they're charging for live streams and for tickets and that kind of thing. It's 2025, guys. Figure it out.
All right. Well, listen, let's wrap this up. We had another Q&A we have to do. And we appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out with us. Check out bodybuilding.com. Go to teamskip.com. Hit me up, McNallyDiets@gmail.com. And, of course, check out TrueNutrition.com. Use our code ThinkSupplementSource.ca. And thank you to everybody from Patreon for another episode of Blood, Sweat, and Gear. We'll see you soon, guys. All right. We're going to still do another
And
live
if you're at
stream,
Caliente, look out for Andrew.
It's Caliente.
What's Caliente, Andrew?
Hold on. It's not. Nah, we're not. I am not part of the lifestyle. Okay, I am not. I am not.
I'm just messing with you.